Hello my YouTube friends. In today's video I will show you some of the varieties of tomatoes and cucumbers I grow this year. Of course I have varieties that I grow each year. For example, this one. I have 3 or 4 bushes of this variety. Another variety I grow each year is pecan bushel, but somehow I dislike it this season. I don't like the shape of the fruit, the cucumber itself, and somehow I don't like a lot of seeds inside. And it does not matter even if a cucumber is small enough in size, the seeds are still very noticeable. But let me show you 2 varieties of cucumbers that I like the most this season. The first one is called Jade. The bushes are very full and leaves are green, and this is one of its cucumbers. They're long and very dark in green shade. That's why maybe they call Jade. There is another one lurking behind the leaves. This is another bush of Jade cucumber. Small cucumber like a snake. The other 2 cucumbers are right here, and one small. This is the biggest right there. Another favorite variety is called Armenian cucumber. I did not notice this one and I'm afraid it's overgrown, but I will still pick it up to see. This is a smaller one and I will pick it up today as well. This is a little one, it's just starting to grow. And here together 2 babies. One is from the Jade variety, another is from the Armenian variety. I will now harvest this one. I harvested 3 varieties. 1 traditional and 2 new ones. I grew Armenian last year, but Jade is something completely new for me. This is the first season I am growing. These 2 cucumbers are certainly overgrown, but it's still interesting to cut them and see if they are edible. If not, I will pickle them. If they're not edible fresh, I will pickle them. These cucumbers were specifically created for pickling. Of course you can pickle another supermarket varieties of cucumbers, but the result will not be the same. But I like to eat them fresh. You can eat them fresh, cooked or pickled. Let's cut this variety and see how it looks inside. This variety feature a high water content, and this texture changes after being soaked in a brine solution as the solution replaces the water in the process. But I don't mind the water content. They're still very fresh and good to taste. A little disadvantage of these cucumbers is that their skin is a little bit thick and chewy. Now let's cut and taste my Jade cucumber. Its skin resembles me a crocodile skin. This sample is a little bit overgrown, but surprisingly no bitterness at all. It's very fresh. But I will go ahead and pick up a smaller piece to show you the perfect example of this variety. I harvested a smaller variety of the jade cucumber, and the seeds are much smaller and the taste is wonderful. It's now a turn for Armenian cucumber to be cut. Interesting color, pale salad green. The seeds are so tiny. Now it's very interesting to cut this big Armenian cucumber because the small one has almost no seeds. So let's see how big the seeds are in this sample. Surprise, surprise! Even this huge sample, the seeds are still small. Let me try and see the difference in taste between the smaller sample and the bigger sample. It's a little bit more crunchier, but still sweet, no bitterness. So that means that I can grow them in terms of the size, something in the middle between the smaller one and this big one, and they will be still perfect in terms of their taste. So we tasted today 3 varieties. All of them are good, but my favorite is still the jade variety. Now I will do a cucumber salad, combining all 3 varieties. This is one of my favorite summer salads. Very simple. I just cut my cucumbers, mixed with sour cream, topped with leaves of basil, dill and chives, and decorated with basil flowers. Simple and delicious. I could not resist to show you my peppers. I grow at least 5 varieties of sweet peppers this year. Those 2 were California Sweet Wonder, California Wonder. This variety is called Sweet Italian Pepper, and this bush is Big Bertha. I also have orange and yellow peppers, but they're still green. Let me now show you some of my favorite varieties of tomatoes this year. Salsa Roma is very productive. This is another bunch of Salsa Roma. This is a big boy variety, and I grow it every year. My biggest tomatoes, Belgium Giant, we left only green ones. We ate the red ones, so I have to wait until this ripen. Most unusual this year are called midnight snack. They are completely black. Let me pick some and show how they look inside when cut in half. Another interesting variety that I grow this year is called Dancing with Smurfs. I harvested 5 varieties of tomatoes, those that were available today, because my husband likes to pick them up himself every day. So some varieties were not available today. But I was able to harvest Salsa Roma, grape tomato, those 2 unusual types, midnight snack and dancing with someone I forgot with. big boy. And now I will do two very simple but tasty appetizers with my tomatoes. For my first appetizer, I will use smaller tomatoes. I will cut them and use mozzarella cheese and greens and sprinkle with salt, pepper, thyme and olive oil. My first appetizer is ready, and this new variety midnight snack really looks good, juicy, and of the dark color. Now I will do my second appetizer using bigger tomatoes, and I prepared this cheese dip, or maybe it's not a dip, a spread I would say. I combined a Mexican blend of 4 cheeses, crushed garlic and some mayo. And now I will top each slice of tomato with this spread. My second appetizer is also ready. I specifically use small and bigger slices of tomatoes. Usually for my tables I use slices of the same size. But here I wanted to show you that it doesn't matter how big or small the tomato slice is. You can always top it with this cheese spread and sprinkle some greens. In my case, I sprinkled with chives. So 2 easy, simple, but very tasty appetizers with 5 varieties of tomatoes from my garden are ready.